As if by magic, all the mice disappeared. Standing before Clara was a handsome prince with a cherry red coat and indigo eyes. Her Nutcracker had come to life. "You saved me," he said, "not just from the Mouse King, but from a terrible curse, too. I would have been a wooden soldier forever if you hadn't risked your life for me. Now, will you do me the honor of accompanying me to my home, the land of sweets?" "Oh, yes, please," said Clara. They traveled by swan over golden-flecked oceans and silver-edged cities. Clara held her breath, her eyes wide. As she gazed at the twinkling lights far below, snowflakes pirouetted past. The prince caught one and gave it to Clara. "Try it," he said. Clara let the snowflake dissolve on her tongue. Rosebuds and raspberries," she said. "Mine is peppermint and honey," said the prince. "Every snowflake tastes unique." The swan drifted gently down towards gingerbread rooftops. "Welcome to the land of sweets," said the prince. Clara gazed around her in amazement. Lollipops grew in the flower beds, lemonade flowed from the fountains, and the sherbet path twisted off into marshmallow mountains. "Eat anything you like," said the prince. "It's all delicious." Clara tried a blade of grass. It tasted of mint and lime and lazy summer afternoons. "Follow me," said the prince, leading her across a blueberry river. Rising up before them was a wafer palace topped with marzipan turrets. "This is where I live," said the prince, "and you are my guest of honor." As they crossed the candy cane bridge, a fairy in a sugar-spun dress came out to greet them. "How do you do, Clara?" she said. "I am the Sugar Plum Fairy. Come quickly, you will be late for the ball." When Clara arrived at the ball in the palace of the Nutcracker Prince, she received gifts from all around the world. There was chocolate from Spain, coffee from Arabia, tea from China, candy from Russia, and Mother Ginger and her gingerbread children did a dance for her. There was so much magic in that palace that even the flowers danced in happiness that Clara came to visit. Finally, at the end of the ball, when everyone was starting to get tired, the Sugar Plum Fairy and her prince did a dance for all of them. Clara and the prince waltzed until the sun peeped out over cotton candy clouds and turned the sky 1,000 shades of pink. Then Clara knew it was time for her to go home. As the prince helped her onto the swan's soft back, she asked, "Will I ever see you again?" But before the prince could answer, she had fallen asleep. When Clara woke up, she found herself beneath the Christmas tree, her wooden Nutcracker in her arms. He was as good as new, but he was no longer a prince. What a wonderful dream, she thought. But she could still taste the lime and mint of her snowflake from the Nutcracker's palace. As the grandfather clock struck 6, she heard a loud knock. It was Drosselmeyer. "Merry Christmas," he cried. "I've brought someone to meet you, Clara. This is my nephew." Standing before Clara was a young man with a cherry red coat and indigo eyes, and he looked almost exactly like her wooden Nutcracker prince. The end.